Hello and welcome to another video. What day is it today? Today is January 28th and it is 10 o'clock at night. And I'm out in the barn right now because I am having a small dilemma with Miss Kitty. So for those of you who are not familiar with my older mare, Miss Kitty, she's 20, she'll be 27, and I have a winter blanket for her, but I'm not putting it on her yet because the temperatures have been warm enough and I'm afraid of her overheating. She's never been blanketed in her life. So, and the purpose for this blanket was because we were getting some pretty bad, like below zero temperatures, and she's lost a little weight this fall. Right now it's 20 degrees out, which is really warm temperatures for us right now. So the horses are all really comfortable, but we've just been getting this little bit of a drizzle outside. So we were driving home from town a little while ago and the roads are covered in black ice. So everything is like all the gates and everything just have this sheer layer of ice on them and the horses are wet. Well, everybody seems to be doing just fine, but I don't want Miss Kitty wet because she doesn't have quite the insulation that the other horses have. I don't want to put her blanket on her yet because it is pretty warm out considerably, but I don't want her getting a chill from being wet either. So her blanket is waterproof. So with her coat being wet right now though, I need to dry her off before I can put her blanket on her. So I'm gonna throw a cooler blanket on her. It's fleece and it kind of wicks away the moisture. I'm gonna put that on her for an hour or so and then come back out to the barn and then put her heavier blanket on her. All the horses that are in the pasture have never seen a horse with a blanket on. So I don't want to just go and throw her out there at night and have them chase her through the fence or run away from her or whatever. So I'm going to blanket her and then leave her in a different area so she's not out with the herd. And then tomorrow I'll put her back out with the herd with her blanket on. So it really doesn't seem like it should be that difficult, but there's a lot of factors to think about here. So I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. All right, so I will take you down to see Miss Kitty and I will show you the cooler that I'm going to put on her. I am up here visiting with the cats. I came up to feed the cats, so they're all just hanging out. Which side is which here, sweetheart? Put it on upside down, backwards, inside out, you name it. Okay, Miss Kitty is all covered up in her cooler. She looks like a knight's horse. But I'm not going to, there's little straps as you can see right there. Those would go like around the forehead and then the bottom strap would connect around her chest. These really aren't meant to be left on a horse in a stall loose. They're more to be left on when the horse is tied for drying off. I'm not concerned about her being in here with this on. And I'm only going to leave her in here with this on as long as it takes for her to dry off. So she's just going to sit in the stall with that on until she's dry, and then I'm going to put her blanket on her. But these are great. They're really nice to have around. I used to trailer my horses, a mile or so one way for a couple of years to do lessons. So I would teach at an indoor arena that was a mile away from where my horses were, and so I would haul my horses all winter long, and I would just take these coolers and throw them on them when they're in the trailer, the stock trailer, just so they didn't get a chill going back and forth, and if they were a little bit wet, it really helped. So that's the purpose here, and isn't she cute? She knows it. She knows she's adorable. But I was really hoping to go as long as possible without having to put a blanket on her because she just really does have such a beautiful coat. It's just she's not there weight-wise for me right now with what we've got going on outside right now. And the only way I can explain it is like the air is wet. So it's not raining. It's not really drizzling. The air is just wet to a point where it sticks to things. So like the moisture in the air is sticking to the cars, it's sticking to the gates, it's sticking to, like I can feel it on my face when I walk. So it's not raining, it's just enough for things to just be wet. And that kind of environment is gonna make her cold, I think. So I would rather do this and just be safe rather than sorry, so. Okay, well I'm gonna let her sit here. I'm gonna go in and edit a video for an hour or so and be back out in the barn in a little while. Okay, I just went to the house for a lot longer than I expected. It's 1 a.m. And I went in the house, I got a video edited, and the coyote started howling. So I'm like, I'll just wait a little longer to go out. So no big deal. Miss Kitty looks pretty content. But I'm going to show you this cooler and how it wicks away the moisture. Okay, if you can see here, see all of the moisture on the outside of this blanket? So this just wicks all the moisture away from the horse and brings it to the outside of the blanket. So that's how these guys work. And now these coolers, this is just a fleece one, but you can get a nice one that's made out of wool. Those are awesome. And she is like bone dry underneath here. So these are pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her winter blanket on her. Now I gotta set this thing to dry somewhere. But she is all dry, cutie pie. I did have this blanket on her one other time just to try it on when I first got it. So I wanted to make sure that it was adjusted okay and that it was the right size for her. So I'm just going through and I'm making just quick adjustments to make sure that everything is fitting exactly how it should. And what I'm going to do is I have a stall that goes out behind my barn, and she can be by the other horses out there. So she's going to go in that area so the other horses can see her wearing this blanket, but I don't want to just put her out with the herd at night with this blanket on because they've not seen it before. So I don't want the other horses to chase her or have them get scared and run from her or anything like that. You just never know with horses. There's things that just really bother them, and anytime you change something in their environment, you really want to be very cautious. I'm anxious to see how it goes when I introduce Miss Kitty back out into the herd while wearing a blanket. I really wonder if any of them are going to pick on her or if they're going to be afraid of her or just really not care at all. So stay tuned because the next video I post is going to be of her introduction back into the herd. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.